Alright everyone, what is up? It's your boy Akatsuki back at it again in part 3 of What If Naruto Was a Cybertronian Half-Human Hybrid. Well, I guess now I'm going to have to put like a side title that says as not human anymore, as basically the last time we left off, Kaguya gave Naruto the Shinju fruit, or the chakra fruit, as Naruto would eat the fruit but go through an unbearable transformation experience, as in his mind Kurama would be just basically chilling as Naruto would be sort of trying to meditate in his mindscape, as Zetsu would go in there and tell Kurama what happened. As as pretty much, yeah. Now, Kaguya would eventually, the process would have finished and Naruto would look something like this, except pretty much imagine the skin pale like Kaguya's and the hair like that whitish pale blue. I think it's baby blue or sky blue or something like that. Pretty much it's about 10 shades lighter than a pair of regular jeans, like Lee jeans, you know. Pretty much it's that type of hair shade color. As, yeah, Naruto would pretty much have every dojutsu possible, as he would be one of the strongest Akatsuki or half Akatsuki to ever exist. As Kaguya would pretty much, when Naruto woke up, she would ask Naruto if he would be with her, as he said yes, but on one condition: that she was with, well, a friend of hers, and that if he was also able to be with Quintessa. Kaguya reluctantly agreed, because I know that Kaguya hates sharing. Fun fact, Kaguya hates sharing. She betrayed her entire kind and her, I guess you could say, ex-husband, who she had no feelings for, to just get power. As pretty much when they first got to Earth and found the first Shinju fruit, of course there'd be a second one, which is the one Naruto ate. It was just not ripe. As pretty much Ishiki would want to share the first Shinju fruit, the one that Kaguya ate, with the entire Akatsuki race. Now, Kaguya said to him, "Oh hell no!" and beat his ass. As Ishiki was kind of just thrown to dust and thrown down, destroyed. Like rip and pepperonis and Doritos. Rip and Tostinos and Totinos pizza rolls. As pretty much now he would have to go get a body, which I'm pretty sure would be Jigen. As pretty much sorry about that, my brother's being an idiot. As pretty much Ishiki would be wanting that second chakra fruit when it was fully ready. As we now go to the present, as well, Ishiki would have been preparing to dine on that chakra fruit and get his revenge on Kaguya. On Kaguya. As, well, suddenly the weakest Akatsuki of them all, or one of them, I believe, Urashiki would come out of nowhere and say, yeah, she gave it to a half-human, half-cybertronian, and kind of made him the strongest being to ever exist, as Ishiki would just not even move, as he would have a blank expression on his face as he was, drinking a glass of, well, pretty much wine or some sort of god juice, as he just had as his hand basically just was still and the cup fell out of his hand and splattered everywhere. He said, "What? No! My hopes for revenge are over." As we go back to Naruto. Now, I forgot to mention this. Naruto kind of has this. If you do not know what this is kind of like a symbol that is in most of his attacks. In his shuriken mode, this is kind of what he turned into, but spinning around. He can create a shield that looks like this. His fireball I was talking about earlier looked like this. And of course, his Eclipse Rasengan will look like this. As, yeah. Basically, we go back to Naruto, who was making his way to the Hidden Leaf, where, well, let's just say a certain Transformer goddess was pissed. As she was throwing around ninjas in a fit of rage, saying, Where is Predacon? Where is Naruto-kan?" As she would not say Predacon in front of normal people. I mean, in front of everyone, because then that would just tell you, simp. And she did not want to be labeled as a simp. But, I mean, seriously, she kinda is a simp. Well, no, Obito is a simp. He's a simp for Rin. If you understand that pain, just put in the comments, Obito is simp for Rin. Yeah, just do that. As pretty much, Obito was obliterating everything he could. I'm pretty much sorry. Quintessa was obliterating everything she could. It was like the freaking Nine Tails on a 15% scale, on like 1/10 of the Nine Tails. His destruction was caused to the village. As Naruto would just walk to the village and say, "Quintessa, there you are." As she would then say, "Naruto-kan." As she would run up and hug him. As he would say, but she would notice something was not right because he was in his transformer form. As she said, "Why aren't you in your human form? And why aren't you in your humanoid form?" The form you get from being half human. As he then said, "About that, I'm not half human anymore." As she said, "Are you full cybertronian?" As he said, "No, not that. Kaguya kind of invited me to, well, go to the forest with her as she told me of a giant fruit that could increase my power, called a Shinju fruit. As, well, the Shinju fruit being a way of cultivation, Quintessa would know exactly what it was. Pretty much, it was something that drained the life force energy out of a planet and all the beings around it to create a fruit that could be used to empower a being greatly, but also change them. But, well, just empower a being greatly because cybertronian goddess or not, yeah, she's a bit weak on the subject of Akatsuki, as she didn't really care about the Akatsuki, even though they were her enemies, and they were labeled on Cybertron as her enemies. As she would say, wait, aren't Shinju fruit like giant cultivated, gathered sources of giant life energy? As Naruto would say, kind of. As Kaguya would walk out behind him and say, the reason why he isn't in that human form that he had is because I gave him a Shinju fruit, also known as a chakra fruit. Now, this kind of is a big. Now this kind of let's just say changed his DNA entirely. You see, Shinju fruit, if eaten whole, will turn you into a Akatsuki. As an Akatsuki. As when Quintessa heard this, she was basically thinking, oh no you didn't, bitch. As Kaguya would then say, oh yes I did. I gave him a Shinju fruit that was stronger than the very one I ate, which turned him into, drumroll please, as Naruto would turn into his Akatsuki form, which again looks like this except pale skin and Kaguya's hair color. As Naruto would then say, yeah, I'm half Akatsuki, half cybertronian now. As Quintessa was just thinking, oh, so, he's, half Akatsuki now. As Quintessa was pissed. Like, yandere level over 400. However, well, it was still nowhere near Kaguya's yandere level, which just I think it's called basically a salute to the old Dragon Ball Z days, and to Dragon Ball Z, is her yandere level is over 9,000! I love that meme. As pretty much, yeah. So Kaguya would just be like, hugging Naruto right next to him, as she would say, so yeah, he's pretty much, now both of ours. As, well, Quintessa would say, what do you mean, ours? As she would look confused, as she would think Kaguya would try to hog him for herself. As Kaguya would then say, I wanted him for myself, but Naruto insisted that if he was to be my boy, he was to be with me, then you would also have to be with him. As, well, Quintessa would say, of course, I would love that. As, well, now we go to Naruto's mindscape. As in his mindscape, Kurama would just be sort of just there, you know? Oh, sorry, that's not for now. As Kurama would just be there in Naruto's mindscape, just thinking, wow, you're OP, you're godlike, well, I mean, now you're a freaking god. You have two beautiful girls fighting over you. Why do I want to live your life? Hmm? Hmm? As Naruto would just say, yeah, I know I have a great life. As Naruto would then just say, yeah, I love it. As he would, as then, well, Naruto would then pretty much be called for. And Naruto would pretty much be called for by Kaguya, as Kaguya would then ask, so, what are we gonna do about this planet? As Naruto is thinking, well, and as Naruto would then say, well, what do you two want to do? As the two, as this was probably one of the rarest times of all. This was probably one of the rarest occasions of all time where Kaguya and Quintessa were thinking the same thing. Sex and cultivation. As the two girls would just look intently at Naruto as he'd just think, girls, why are you looking at me like that? As they would, pretty much, Kaguya would summon giant arms of wood release out of the ground. As yes, I'm pretty sure Akatsuki have wood release. As she would just grab Naruto's legs and drag him away like in one of those horror scenes where the guy is screaming and has his, or the person is screaming and has their fingernails digging at the ground. They're just like, no, no, no. It's kind of like that, except with Kaguya and Quintessa dragging Naruto away. As he was then dragged away into a alternate, basically into another dimension, one which Kaguya opened up. Because I'm pretty sure she has like a couple of alternate dimensions. Yeah. As Kaguya would then say, here, here we won't be disturbed. As, yeah, we do a time skip of 4 weeks. Now I know what you're thinking. 4 weeks? Jesus crikey! As the portal, as a portal finally opens up on Earth, as Kaguya, and as Naruto just falls out. Like, give me a week to rest, please. As, well, Kaguya and Quintessa are just behind him walking out of the portal, smiling devilishly, saying, that was a fun 4 weeks. As Naruto is just like, fun? Jesus Christ, you demons! As he would basically just trudge all the way, just someone and say, trudge all the way to the Hokage and Jiraiya and say, Jiraiya, help me, help me! As Jiraiya was just like, what do you need help with? As he'd say, they're demons! Demons! Demons, I tell you! As well, it would seem as if time itself stopped, as the door would just swing open as Kaguya and Quintessa would just be moving, not even moving their legs. Egg, eggs are walking near Naruto, just moving like freaking body flickering or instant transmissioning over to Naruto. And it's just like, what in the Jesus Christ? They're demons, I tell you. As Jiraiya's just like, I'm guessing you had a fun 4 weeks. I'm guessing you had a fun time last night. As Naruto then just says, it wasn't just last night. It was 4 weeks, man. 4 weeks. As Jiraiya is just like, 4 weeks. Ooh, this would be good for research. As, yes, Jiraiya is Hokage, but of course he still has his pervy antics. As Naruto's just like, God. As Naruto, now we do a time skip of about 2 days, as Naruto's legs are finally working again. Now Naruto is kind of just killing off the Akatsuki, and not sort of killing off the Jinchuriki, just doing a sort of transformer technique, and doing a sort of cybertronian technique, as he is just pretty much he's punching the Jinchurikis into the chest, as he then surrounds their body in a sort of, well, orange and black aura, as he then condenses their bodies down into orange and black pills that kind of look like this, or orbs that kind of look like this, as he then just uses his other hand to squeeze out the Biju, as he then just says, enjoy your new home, and throws it into his freaking mindscape. As we go back, as he has done this to about all 9 and all 8 of the Biju, as Naruto's just like, hehehehe. As Kurama is just in the mindscape, sort of has, like, you know how people in those movies have, like, those latch doors and they're keeping them shut to survive from zombies? Pretty much, Kurama has one of those doors in the mindscape, and he just has it right, and he just has it shut open, and all the Biju are just squished near it because the door is facing downward. As, well, he then just opens the hatch as the 8 Biju just fall into a river and just fall into a pond. As I said, Naruto's mindscape is kind of like rivers, ponds, mountains, valleys, sun, moon, light, dark, you know, place like that. As he's then just like, welcome to your new home. As they're just like, Kurama? Wait a minute, weren't you in that Menma boy? As Kurama's just like, yeah, but, I mean, well, look at how many powers this guy has. As he just scrolls, as he basically just shows them his subconscious and shows them all the attacks he showed Zetsu. As he's just like, as they're just like, holy guacamole of crap! As Shikaku is just like, Shukaku likey. Shukaku like you very muchy. Shukaku wanna play. As Shikaku basically just kicks Kurama out of, well, the main. Basically, he kicks him out of control. He basically just kicks Naruto out of control. As right now, Naruto is just training, as he as Shikaku kicks Naruto out of control and takes control of Naruto's body, as Naruto's cheeks and neck, chest, and horns then get the, Shikaku markings on them, as Shikaku then just goes, "Oh yeah!" And well, his two main eyes, the two red and the two ones that look like a fusion of a Mangekyo Sharingan and Tensegon, the ones right here, or hold it, basically the ones where normal eyes go. Pretty much right there, Shukaku's eyes are, as he's just like, yes, let's see how much havoc I can cause. As Shukaku just begins flying and goes all the way over to Jupiter and a couple of other planets, and he just says, as he then just says, he 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 he, divine god style, divine god style, dimensions, dimensional strike. As he has Naruto's sword out, which is glowing black and orange, as he just strikes down 3 times to the point where one is like coming from the northeast, another's coming from the northwest, as one is just coming down from north. And the entire Jupiter just explodes as he's just like, oh, Shukaku likey very much. And we go to the mindscape as Shikaku's in control, just like, I'm going to enjoy this very much. As Naruto, he is a bit dazed while Shikaku does that attack, and he's just like, oh no you don't, you fat tanuki, as he basically just crane kicks Shikaku out of control. And Shikaku's just like, oh, you're no fun. As he's just like, I am fun, it's just that you should not be using my body to destroy planets. And Shikaku's just like, oh. As pretty much Naruto then walks. Pretty much Naruto then walks to the Akatsuki, as Kaguya, Zetsu, and him have all decided, and Quintessa have decided that the Akatsuki are not really needed as Kaguya is here. Because, the seal was destroyed when Dragonstorm kinda just crashed through the seal. As Naruto, as pretty much Naruto just says goodbye, as he then just says, Kurama, take control, and he basically is in the mindscape. It says, Kurama, let's switch. As Shikaku's just like, no fair, no fair, no fair, no fair, no fair, no fair. As Naruto then pretty much switches from his, pretty much a glowing orb, like, looking like this, surrounds him as Naruto turns into this. Or, basically, it's like the Kurama Chakra mode, except surrounding his entire body. As Kurama is just like, yes, now. Divine God style. Nine Biju Bomb strike. As for each of his tails just comes out a gold and, orange, black, and gold Biju Bomb, as he just throws them all at the Akatsuki base, and he just combines them all into one that pretty much looks like the black and orange dragon symbol I showed you earlier, as he's just like, yes, now, die! As the Akatsuki are just like, oh fuck, as they can see the giant gold, black, and orange Biju bomb just hurling towards them. As Kurama is just like, yes, 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 die! As, well, the Akatsuki are just finished. As Naruto goes back into this form, or pretty much the giant Biju mode just dissipates away as Kurama is just like, okay, that was awesome, I'm not gonna lie. That was very, very, very fun. And Shikaku's just like, wait a minute, you can go into your Biju chakra mode, you can go into your chakra mode when in control, and you look like a god like that? Aw, no fair, no fair, no fair, no fair, no fair, no fair, no fair. As Naruto's just like, oh, come on. Next we're gonna pay a visit to the, next we're gonna pay a visit to the cloud. So don't worry, we already condensed their Jinchuriki into an orb, as he basically did the thing that Kai does from Kung Fu Panda 3, as he has, like, all the Jinchuriki just compressed into orange and black orbs on a belt. As he then just says, so it's perfectly fine. As he says, okay, so when we get there, Shikaku, you'll be able to take a form. And Shikaku's just like, yay! As Naruto begins walking, and says, alright, we have made it to the cloud. As Naruto turns into this, and Shikaku is just like, alright, now this is awesome. Alright, now this is awesome. As he then says, what should I use? I don't care. One Tails. Okay. Titan style. Titan style God Spear. As Shikaku's tail lengthens to a long size, to the point where it looks like there's 100 tails there, but it's all just one tail connected, and just one long tail. As this tail is then just blitzing through the ground and buildings and people as it's on fire. As he's just like, alright, now this is awesome. What should I use next? Oh, I know. As he then says, desert style. Desert style. The pyramid. As he then creates a ginormous upside down pyramid, as out of sand, rock, earth, and rubble. As then the tip of the pyramid, which I said this is upside down, the tip of the pyramid just opens up into a giant, terrifying mouth. And from the sides of the pyramid are just hundreds of thousands of giant scorpion tails, it appears. As then it is just hurling towards the Cloud Village. As Lerai Kage is just like, what is all this commotion about? As he looks outside and sees this god just crushing everything. He's just like, is that a humanoid one-tailed Shikaku? And is that the humanoid one-tails? How in the universe does that even work? As Shikaku then just said, I'm a god! Die! As he's just, basically, he's in a power rush. But, as we all know, power rushes are similar to sugar rushes. The power gets to you, you become insanely powerful, and you want to destroy everything, but eventually, well, you'll see soon. Which is one of the things that power rushes and sugar rushes have in common. As Shikaku is just summoning thousands of giant drills out of sand and rock, and says, desert style, a thousand whirlwind drills, as he just creates 1,000 giant sandy drills. Like the drill bits made out of sand, and they're ginormous. As he's just like, whoa, die. And he's just like, I'm having so much fun. As Shikaku then says, wait. As he's just in the mindscape and looking through attacks, he then says, wait, ultimate Biju skill? As, yes, when a Biju is in control, they each have a attack called the ultimate Biju skill. This is basically the Biju's strongest attack when they're in control of Naruto. As he then just says, Desert God style. Fear, rise of a million Tanuki. As it's basically like a giant shadow clone jutsu, except they're like not clones. Well, I mean, they are, it's just flesh and blood and bone. Basically, all of that is just in these guys, and they don't disappear when you hit them once. So yeah, big oof. As he then just says, as final Biju strike, as they're all creating giant Biju bombs. And, well, meanwhile, in the Cloud Village, they're just like, God save us, God save us, God save us, God save us, God save us. As, well, all the Biju bombs hit the Cloud Village, as it is basically wiped off the face of existence. And Shikaku's just like, so much fun! As he wants to destroy some more things. However, as I said, something that power rushes and sugar rushes have in common. As he then feels it. The power crash. Yes, sugar rushes and power rushes have one thing in familiar. The crash. Except when it comes to a power crash, well, you'll see. As then all of the giant Shikakus then turn into sand, basically leaving what was once the Cloud Village, just a giant desert of sand. As Shikaku just says, uh-oh, going down. As Shikaku, still in this form, but slowly fading out of it, just hits the earth. As Naruto... Oh, sorry. That's for another what if. As Naruto then takes back control and says, well, that was definitely something. As everyone is just like, agreed. And yeah, they're all excited, like, okay, I want to see what's my Biju style attack. what my ultimate Biju attack is. Because that was friggin' insane. You just created like 1,000 shadow clones of yourself, or sand clones, or clones of yourself, and then just Biju bomb the entire place, wiping it off the face of existence. And then they all faded, and then they all dissipated, leaving what was once the village into a friggin' desert. As Naruto then just says, alright, next up, how about the Rain Village? How about the Mist Village? As they're just like, okay. And, well, around this time, Yagura was still the Three Tails Jinchuriki when he was condensed into a orb, so no Yagura, no war. As pretty much the village is prospering quite nicely, as it doesn't go by the bloody mist, it just goes by the mist. As they're just like, let's hope this peace thing works out. As then Naruto comes out of nowhere and says, well, sorry, but you're all about to die. As he is in his mindscape and says, who wants to go next? As Matatabi just says, me, as he's like, okay. As Naruto then shifts into this form, as Matatabi's just like, whoa, I look awesome. Oh, wait, am I? Oh, I'm a boy. Unexpected, but okay. As she then says, now how should I destroy the Mist Village today? As she's just pondering her thoughts, like, As she then says, oh, I know. As she then says, cataclysmic style, and cataclysm style. Double trouble spin, as Matatabi's giant tails just transform into giant chain whips, and turn into giant chain whips connected to maces at the end. As Matatabi, in control of Naruto, begins spinning around at the speed of thought. Basically, he moving so fast that it just looks like there's a giant spinning disc of black and blue Matatabi tails. Like, you can't even tell if it's tails or just a giant disc wobbling around, destroying everything in its wake. As she then says, alright, that was a bit fun. As she then says, cataclysm style. Cataclysm style, Tiger's Pride, as she then just roars. Then 1,000, or maybe even more, lions and tigers and all types of big wildcats just appear out of nowhere. And then they all begin glowing and begin moving at the speed of light. Just freaking wailing on the Mist Village, as no one can keep up. No one can. As they're just like, what in the holy bloody hell is this? As she's just like, alright. Now, let's see here. Ultimate Biju style. Let's see. And she then says, Ultimate Biju style. Ultimate Biju style. Twin planet collision. As Matatabi's two tails then separate and spin around like rings, and then those rings begin spinning around looking like orbs as they begin growing and looking like planets. As and basically they look like planets or moons, as she then says, and collide, as they begin glowing with blue fire and electricity, as they then just smash down at the village, and then, from what appears to be the aftershock, all the dust and everything swept off the ground, then just sweeps upward and slams down in the form of 1,000 giant Matatabes. As yeah, the Mist Village is now non-existent. And she's just like, alright, now I need to get out of... I need to give back Naruto control before I go into a, well, power crash. As she then hands back Naruto control as Naruto then says, alright, next, as it's Isobu, and he's just like, can we destroy the hidden, can we destroy the sand village? As Naruto's just like, okay. As they get to the sand village, and, well, they have no Kazekage. Well, I mean, Tamari has to step forward and be Kazekage, as the village is in shambles, and they're just like, hopefully nothing bad will happen. As Naruto appears out of nowhere and says, surprise attack! And they're just like, ah, crap. As Naruto then just turns into this form as, well, Isobu is now in control, as he then says, alright, I want to make this quick and clean. As he then says, I'll use my ultimate attack first, and then says, ultimate Biju style. Ultimate Biju style. 5,000 tsunamis on the turtle's back. 5,000 tsunamis with a side of Bowser. As yes, that is what the attack is called. As then giant tsunamis then begin surrounding the sand village, swirling around it, as then appears to be a giant Bowser, or Bowser in his shell form. Well, basically this guy in his shell form just spinning around, and bouncing around like it's friggin' ping pong. I'm bouncing around like one of those games in like casinos, pretty much pinball, as he's just bouncing around and destroying everything. As he then says, and strike, as he jumps up and then just dives down, destroys the village. And he's just like, alright, Naruto, you can have back control. As Naruto's just like, okay. Next village to destroy. Then, well, Son Goku says, how about the rain? Which I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Yeah, rain. And so like, okay, as they get to the rain, or the land of waves, as Gato is destroying and as Gato is sort of, well, as I said, non-existent, so they're, well, sort of worshipping Naruto, as he then just gets the feeling to not attack the village. Hold on.